What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. CDK with Sports Talk Network. And we got the man, the myth, the legend himself, man. Mr. Bernie, the boxer in the building out in Las
Yes,
Vegas,
sir.
man. Bro, it's
Good
definitely an
morning.
honor to have you. I've been trying to get you for a while. I know you're a busy man, and I gladly appreciate you coming out. How you doing this morning?
All is well, man. All is well. Just coming
Oh,
off them victories. You see us got busy this weekend. If you didn't know, you know we just went up on Pro Box. We had Lester
yeah.
Martinez in the main event, looking spectacular. We had Night Davis on the opener, looked spectacular, and we had Lolo Harris, the hometown kid, do his thing, looking spectacular. So we, coming fresh off of them victories and headed to the next.
Man, I really didn't know that y'all had that many fighters, and we covered pro box this weekend. And man, Martinez, he's a beast, man, a future champion
Yeah,
in I believe that
yeah.
kid's man special.
Yeah. Lester, a bad dude. Gonna be the first world champion from Guatemala. That's our goal. Making history.
Oh yeah, so he's from Guatemala. Yeah,
Yes,
he is from
sir.
Guatemala. They did say that, and I think history will be made. Ain't no doubt about that. I liked everything I
Bogdan
seen
too.
from him in that fight with James.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Shout out
Now,
to the team.
man, I told you, Bernie, one thing for sure. Man, you know your boxing. You was a professional fighter yourself. I listen to you all the time. I love what you do. Uh,
Mhm.
you long time friends and trainer with Terrence Bud Crawford. And the biggest fight in boxing in my eyes is two fights I see as being the biggest fights. That's Shakur and Tank, and it's this fight coming up with Canelo and definitely Bud Crawford. A lot of people,
Yeah.
like I told you before, behind the scenes, a lot of people say a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but they never
hmm
come to you respectfully and tell you how they feel. Or they'll wait and then you'll hear what they got to say after you gone. You know what I'm saying, from the show or whatever. They never give you the real about how they really feel about the fight. Now,
Yeah.
I'm a Terrence Bud Crawford fan. I ain't gonna lie. I jumped in the pool. I lost a bet when him and Earl Spence fought. I'm a
Yeah.
Jordan guy. I had on a brand new pair of Jordans. I was out in Vegas when they fought. So I had to jump in the pool with my shoes on if what I'm saying, Bud Crawford won. Needless to say that I lost a brand new pair of Jordans behind that
Yeah.
fight. You know what I'm saying? But the fight
Yeah.
with Canelo, Bud Crawford's going up. I think, if you think about his three weight classes, he did fight at 154 his last weight class. And a lot of questions people ask me, a lot of people that know a little something about boxing, they say it's too many weight classes, you know what I'm saying? There's weight classes for a reason. How do you feel about that?
Well, he walked in the ring that night at 170, so
Hmm. So
he
the
was a,
night
he
he
was
fought, Matt, go
he was
ahead.
super middleweight. He was super middleweight. That's documented. He was 70. He was 170 when he walked in the ring. So, he just got to be. I mean, Davis killed Goliath with a slingshot. You know?
Yeah, he definitely did. He definitely did that, and there ain't no doubt about that. The thing that I'm glad that Bud is actually getting a great payday and having an opportunity. Man, this man has been waiting a long time to get this type of what I'm saying, of a fight, this caliber of fight. He's been doing this thing for a long time, and a lot of people harp on his resume. I think, man, he has a great resume, regardless. Needless to say, I've always said, you know what I'm saying, that styles make fights. Canelo Alvarez, in my eyes, man, you know what I'm saying, he's a great fighter. Ain't no doubt about that. I can't take nothing from Canelo. And that's the one thing that scares me: going up three weight divisions, uh, not getting acclimated to the weight. Also, Canelo's, I think his last fight at 147, because a lot of people harp on that. His last fight at 147 was in 2011, I believe. So,
Mhm.
those are the things that scare me when I think about the fight.
Well,
PBO,
first of all, it's
go
not
ahead.
about a payday. It's not about a payday. Everybody keeps saying about payday. Everything they're talking about is money. Well, when you at this level, they already getting money. So why we care about what Tank getting, what
Yeah,
Canelo getting, and what these guys they already got money. It ain't about the money. They already rich. We not getting none of the money. So who cares if he gets the money or if he? That shouldn't be the thing. What we're doing is we're going in there to beat a guy like you say, an established guy, um, a guy who obviously they saying we really ain't got no chance against. Okay, but Crawford, he the type of guy that likes those challenges. He's never as talented as he is, as much guts he showed, as much power as he showed, as much skill set he showed. He still, for some odd reasons, getting from the beginning, not from the very first time he turned pro, he's getting nobody's believing in this guy. So, he's been proving them wrong, and you know, that's just it. It ain't about the payday. Everybody keeps saying about is glad to get a payday, and then again, when you talk about his resume, yeah, it's a great resume because he ran through everybody he was supposed to. It's documented. It's well known that all these guys, a lot of those guys, stayed away from him. They keep saying that about Spence. If Spence wouldn't have fought him before he got it, before he got in the car wreck, he would have been good. Or whatever. It's not on Bud's his time. It's not his fault. And he beat up the stew out of him. And Spence was looking good when he came back off that. He didn't go and fight just anybody. He fought Danny Garcia and whitewashed him. So and then his next fight, well, maybe he fought Ugas, I think. Yeah, then he fought Ugas, beat the stew out of Ugas.
Mhm.
Everybody was calling him the eye collector. Did nobody say he didn't look the same when he beat Ugas?
Right.
Did nobody say, oh, he washed up when he beat Ugas? They was
Hmm.
still going into the fight like you. You was going to the fight thinking he was gonna beat Bud. You seen him
Yeah,
beat Ugas, and you was
Hmm.
going in there thinking
I agree.
he gonna beat Bud.
Yeah,
Yeah. So okay,
yeah.
so let's just throw that out the window. And again, for I don't understand what's the hate in the world. I'm not even gonna say Bud. I don't understand the world because but I'm going to talk about the world of boxing. So if you in the world of boxing, if you halfway follow anything of boxing, if you halfway follow Bud anywhere around then you know that any of them guys, they all duck Bud. So
Mhm.
Bud has not been in a close fight. Bud has not been in a split decision fight. Bud has dominated every person he's been in the ring with. So his resume is great. Bud is a four division world champion. Bud a three-time Ring Magazine champion. So regardless of the other organizations, he's won the outright title in three weight divisions. Um, so he's been fighter of the year. Should have been. Did we get it twice? I think we got it twice now because we got it
I
for
believe I
Gamboa,
believe y'all did get it twice.
They
we
got got it
got
Yeah.
it for
twice.
Gamboa, and we got it for Earl Spence. I'm thinking. Them 2 years we should have got it.
Yeah.
No, I
Two-time
think
fighter of
I
the
think
year.
you got it. I think you got it for the year that you went undisputed at 140, and then the year
Yeah.
that you beat Spence.
Nah, no, 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 no,
Win
no.
140.
We didn't get it that year. They didn't give it to us for that year. They didn't give it to us. We got it for the Gamboa. The first year we won the title and we beat Gamboa in our first title defense and beat Beltran in the same year. We won 2014.
Okay.
So we won the Ring Magazine Championship. We beat the number one and two contenders, either one, however you want to slice them, however you want to put it in a year. So they gave us the Ring Magazine. They gave us the Fighter of the Year, Boxing Writers Association, the one that count, the big one. We won that. So I think we won that twice.
Okay.
So you know, like I say, this and Crawford is coming to win. He didn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight. He didn't get none of those fights when those guys were they were steaming hot. Keith Thurman, any of them guys, namely Keith Thurman for real. He didn't get those fights when he was steaming hot. I think the other ones were mere formalities. Danny Garcia, Mike Garcia, to crush them guys. It wouldn't have been no work. And
Mhm.
again, everybody they all ran away from him. They all made sure, it's him and Regendow was about the only ones I can think about in recent history where you finding any excuse and the reason not to fight them guys. So, and despite that, all those fellas still accomplished tremendous a lot in the sport. And so, come September
September.
13th, Lord willing, he gets past William Skull, you can't take nobody lightly. Then you're gonna see it and we're gonna do it. Like he just seen was just on a you don't gotta knock him out. And I'm telling you, this guy gonna be surprised how Bud hits, his sharpness, his speed, his power. He's gonna be his everything about it. If he's not shocked, he know what it is, so This is not going to be a one-sided fight. This is going and he's not going to fight Bud like he fight everybody else. He's going to be on his P's and Q's, and even that won't help him.
I'll say this right
Let
now.
me ask this real
Hold
quick.
on one second, BBO. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna say I just want to add this. This one thing we know about Canelo, and I have to say this. If nothing else, Canelo got a cast iron chin. I don't think I don't believe anyone can knock Canelo Alvarez out. I believe if you're gonna beat him, you have to beat him like Bivol beat him, and you have to box him. And Bud definitely has boxing skills. But as far as anybody knocking Canelo out, if he gets knocked out by anybody, it definitely would shock me. So I just wanted to add that he got a cast iron chin.
Why? Why? Cotto brother almost knocked him out.
That was
You
early in
ain't
his
remember that?
career at 147, and I
I
say
don't
that
care.
had more to do with him being at the wrong weight class than a chin. We seen the man get hit by Triple G, and he ate them. You know, that's just being honest. And like I said, I'm rooting for Bud to win. But the one thing about me, I'm from the old school. I like more than one fighter, and I always keep it real with what I see. And
He got he
I
got
know
he
he
got
got a cast iron chin.
he wasn't getting really hit by Triple G. He wasn't
He
getting
was
blasted by Triple
in
G.
that first
He
fight.
wasn't never he wasn't never in no
He
compromising
got blasted a
situation.
couple times.
Yeah, he got blasted a couple times by Triple G with some good shots. I'm talking about some good
Like
shots.
I remember he got hit with a crazy uppercut, and people were saying, "How did Canelo stand up to that?"
Yeah, he ate him.
I thought his head was about to fall off.
Man, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Find that
But
clip.
Yeah,
Find that clip.
I can show
yeah,
you.
we was.
Find
I
that
can
clip.
watch the fight again
Find that.
recently.
Either way, to say that he was at 47, that I mean he turned pro when he was 15,
Yeah,
so he
Yeah, for sure.
wasn't too far out there. He was only 23 when he fought Mayweather, and that was at 54. So to say that at 47, I mean I don't. I
man.
mean
What I'm saying is,
either way,
I think that
But
you
we
can get
he,
talking
hit.
about his chin though, Bernie,
yeah,
and that was just the point that he was making, that when he fought Cotto's brother, he wasn't at the correct weight class.
he wasn't.
I said, but even besides
So
the
when
Cotto
Bud got
brother, I
so
mean,
when Bud so when Bud got stunned by Gamboa, he wasn't fighting at the right weight class neither. Then right?
No,
But
Bud
now
was
we
big.
talk about
Bud,
Canelo.
I
Though.
didn't know he can make those.
Nah, nah, I'm just
Bud,
saying. Let me
I
not
ain't
say
gonna say
that.
that though. I think
All right.
Gamboa just caught him.
Yeah,
Okay, but oh boy didn't just catch Cotto.
he caught him. But I'm
He
just saying
caught him. Yeah, he did.
we've
He
seen
had him
Canelo.
stumbling.
We haven't seen
And
Canelo
so
really be
Bud
hurt
only
since then.
so listen this though. So Bud only fought at the lightweight division for 1 year. He won the title in 2014 and relinquished the title in 14.
Okay, so I
So
can agree with what
so
you're
he
saying.
wasn't at the
Then.
wrong class. So he wasn't at the wrong weight class, but Canelo was because
No,
he was
you're
all right.
right.
no, he was at the wrong weight class.
He was
I
the
mean,
wrong
All right.
way. I can agree
135,
with
he was
you.
big for 35. But let me ask you this, Coach. Now, a lot of people haven't agreed with me on this, but what you guys are doing with Bomac, I mean, Bomac's looking like the new Ernie Futch. What separates him? Because he's
Eddie
taking
Futch. Eddie
Eddie,
Eddie.
Futch.
Oh, I said
Eddie
Ernie.
Futch.
Eddie
Eddie.
first.
yeah.
Eddie. So I'm going to say Eddie. When you see a guy basically transforming fighters, what is makes Bomac so special to where you see guys look their best ever? Whether it's the Chris Eubanks, I've never seen him look like that before. It's almost to where you want to see certain guys get with Bomac to see if he can improve them. Like I always wonder what would Bomac do with Tank? What would he make? How would he make Tank look? Because Bomac is just like a master at showing you how to throw a correct jab, showing you how to throw a nice uppercut, showing you how to hold the right guard. I'm just wondering, what's so special about you guys over there at that camp?
Well, Bo just know how to make you believe in yourself and bring your special qualities out to the forefront. Bo is, so a lot of these things guys already know. They already been taught. Bo is just a reminder, and I feel like Bo is, like I say, he's that psychologist. He's that guy that knows how to move you mentally. You know how to get you focused in that way. And so I think that's the difference with Bo. Bo cares about his fighters. Bo just don't have fighters. He cares about a fighter. He take his time to encourage his fighters to show him the correct way, and he gives them time.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I
But
always want. I'm wondering, especially with you guys going to 68. I think if you guys win this, you guys will pass Henry Armstrong, in my opinion. What do you think about people saying he's up there with names like Henry Armstrong, Sugar Ray Robinson? Because he's up there with the greats if he's able to win this fight. Even if he don't win, he's up there. But this will put him in
he
high air if he can get up there. What do you
He
think?
but before you
Yeah.
answer that, Bernie, I just want to say Bud would be in an elite class of only six fighters going back to the 1910s to be undisputed in three different weight classes,
Yeah,
to be the only man to hold the belt in three different weight classes. That's only been done by six different fighters. So go ahead. I just wanted to add that
The
context.
whole he. What do you mean? He already held the world title, the true title, in three different weight
you
classes.
you're talking about
No,
undisputed
no, no.
bars.
I mean undisputed, the only man to hold it. He's done it in two. He joined the group of he'd be the sixth fighter in history to be undisputed in three different weight classes if he were to beat Canelo.
Well, see, this is what I'm trying to say. I'm not. When you talking about a belt, you talking about belts. But
Mhm.
when you talking about the Ring magazine, that means you're the people's champion.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So, so he's been the undisputed champion in three weights. He was the ring. He has three Ring magazine championships. Three, three Ring magazine championships.
Hmm.
When you have the Ring magazine championship, you only have it's only you. Now it's two, three WBAs. It's two, three, four WBCs, WBOs, IBFs. He got three Ring Magazine championships. So he was the world's true champion at 135. He was the true champion at 140. He was the true champion at 147. That's all. So I don't care about a belts. They can make a gazillion belts.
yeah,
You can make up a gazillion
Hmm.
stats. You can make up stats on stats. He didn't have the IBO belt. He didn't have the this belt. So there's
yeah,
plenty of belts out there. So I'm not a person to get into all the belts in this situation. Like I say, now if you win a belt, you become a champion. But when you win the Ring Magazine belt, you are the champion. You understand? So he's
yeah,
been the champion
Yeah.
in three different weight classes. So if we
mm,
win this, we're gonna be the champion in four weight classes. Now, the thing about Henry Armstrong, we can't. I'm not gonna put in that context because those guys, that's a whole just different era. You can't even.
I
These guys
agree,
fall. Henry Armstrong fought like 30 sometimes in a year.
and I
You
agree.
know,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and then we're talking about um, when it's just one true champion at the time, and he going
Yeah.
from 126 to 147 and not even being a 47-pounder, having to drink beer and weigh with stuff in his pockets to fight at the welterweight limit.
Man,
Which even though he was still fighting a smaller guy, because Barney Ross was the lightweight champion at the time when he beat. So he
Beat
was
him to
fighting a
death.
guy, a smaller guy who rose up. So you know what I mean? We can put these
yeah,
different things in context, but Crawford is making his own way. It's not about, in this day and age, it's unheard of. Let me say that. So
it,
yeah,
it,
it
it
was
definitely
gonna
is,
be
man.
stunning
No.
in this day and age, being that who Canelo is, what he's accomplished, and the skill set that he brings, and the weight that we gotta jump. But so yeah, that put him in rare air, and I think that Bud, he's the one to do that, man. We gonna beat this guy. We gonna beat this guy. This guy knows how to lose. Bud don't know how to lose. So
Mm.
and then when you talking about like Bud was saying, Bud is a small. Canelo was a smaller guy, so he can get out the way of those punches. He was the faster guy.
Yeah,
Now his speed is gonna be matched, if not beaten. And so the punches are coming quicker. They're coming sharper. And I feel like overall, Crawford is a way better fighter than Bivol. Bivol is just a straight boxer with throw good straight punches, and he got a good volume, but I don't think there's no real
Yeah,
science to
no
Bivol.
girls with him. He's just straight Soviet Union. Yeah, you're
yeah.
right
Yeah,
about
he
that.
comes straight from. He didn't
Yeah,
even.
I agree with
Qu-
that. I agree with that. Let me
Question.
say this right here. Hold on one second. Let me say this.
Yeah. Go
You're
ahead.
right about that. I think Crawford is a much better fighter than Bivol. Bivol, you know what I'm saying, been the bigger man or whatever. But skill wise, I give that to Crawford. But what I wanted to ask you is this, because man, y'all got a host of fighters, a lot of really good fighters. Keyshawn Davis, to me, he's my favorite young fighter right now. I feel like I'm tired of hearing people talk about he got Andy Cruz problems. Why you feel like they ain't asking nobody else to go back and revenge Olympic loss or amateur loss, but they're so focused on Keyshawn with that?
I mean, if Andy Cruz didn't have Keyshawn, where would he be?
Right. I agree with you. I'm just tired of hearing it. You know, people keep bringing Andy Cruz name up. I don't think that Andy Cruz is as good a pro as Keyshawn Davis right now. I don't think that fight right now should happen. I don't think he's ready for that type of fight.
Well, Coach, let me ask you
And
this real quick. We seen this something that's kind of unprecedented. We haven't seen this in a while. What do you think about the extreme racism you starting to see with you got Ryan Garcia saying, he wants to bring George Floyd alive and unalive him again, and then you got Tio, who's
Wow.
just an absolute dirtbag.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, what
I
is
didn't
it like
even
being
know that, BVO.
Yeah, he said that. He
yeah,
said that.
what is it like being a trainer seeing this racism that me and you read about, to actually see it in your
George,
face?
Ryan Garcia said he
Yeah.
said something about George Floyd
Yes.
Yeah,
In the
that's why
interview.
Jackson was so mad because
Yeah.
he said he hated
He
all
just
Jews.
said that. That's something he said last year.
Yeah, he said he hated all. He said he hated all Muslims, all blacks, and he said he wished he could bring George Floyd alive to unalive him again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
He
why he
said
got suspended from WBC.
Ryan Garcia said that.
yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the
He
clip,
said that.
brother. I wouldn't bring
It's
nothing
a
back,
whole
coach.
interview. He
Yeah, he
said that.
said that,
I,
coach.
I never heard that one because that's one that's one where you beat his ass on my
Yeah,
mama.
yeah.
You
He
catch him,
said
you
that.
beat his ass. I've never heard him say that, but
Yeah,
I mean, I can, I don't, you know what?
that's on White House.
I'm so,
Yeah,
yeah, listen, you know what? All right. As far as
Nah,
racial shit,
yeah.
I was suspended in the fourth grade. Well, I didn't get suspended, but they had to have a meeting with my mother and the principal and everything because um I was starting to get into history about that time. And I read books, on Martin Luther King and different things like that. And when I seen the atrocities they was doing to black people, um, man, I hated white people. I can't stand white people, and I expressed that to the teacher and everything. And so I've been a historian type of person. I've been a study of race and black pride since 9 years old, fourth grade, Spring Lake Elementary. Um, and so when I hear stuff like that, you know, I hurt him for that. He could never say that in the public in an interview
Right.
or none of them niggas. T.O., you cannot say that around in an area, even if I'm across the room.
Mhm.
If I heard you say that, if they said you said that, I'm coming to you. I'm ready to go down and out for that shit. So
Respect that.
um it's just somebody just gotta make an example of them bums. That's
That's
it.
it. That's
Hit
it.
them in that shit.
And
Hit them
Bud
in that
wanted
shit.
to, but we seen
Hit
how
them in that
Tito
shit.
hurry up and back down.
Hit
we
them
just
in that
we
shit.
just never see.
Well,
We just haven't seen that in
they
so many
still they
years.
they still in a different environment. Crawford catch that man over in Rydia or
Right.
different shit like that. Where now you don't want to spaz out and lose. Put yourself in a different compromising situation because of an idiot. But
Hmm.
these motherfuckers, see, they know where to do that shit at. They know where to say it at. They know how to, you know what I mean? And then when you hide for a long time, time heals wounds, in a sense. So,
Mhm.
the anger has ceased by the time you finally catch up with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, boxing has always been it's always been racial since the beginning of time. Jack Johnson and it's always been a since all of them. A black fighter has always been the target because we the best. You know what I mean? That's a lot of great talent in every arena of life. But we are the absolute best, the creme de the creme, the top of the top, and everything you think about. If you put us in it, we're gonna make it better. We're gonna excel, and it's just what it is. So, far as I couldn't, but that's how they said when I was just in San Bernardino. That's how they said the Mexicans they hate blacks, Latinos, which it- you know, for some reason, I mean, we the most hated ones. You don't even hear uh about people hating as much as blacks.
Yeah, they
It's
hate.
blacks at the top. I hate Asians or I hate this person or that, but blacks is at the top in every race. We at the top. If it's I mean, and look where them guys is at. The guys they hating on. look where they at. Look at where T.O. at. If you gotta sell yourself out that bad to try to. It's not our fault that you signed a terrible contract with Bob Arum.
man.
It's not the black man fault. Ryan Garcia, it's not your fault you quit against Tank.
Yeah,
It ain't our fault. It's you. So
I don't even think they selling out. I think that's actually who they are. I think that's actually what they had in their upbringing,
yeah,
and they just
yeah,
spewing it for the camera.
yeah. Well, that's my whole point I was trying to
Cause
make.
you listen to T.O.'s father, you listen to Ryan's father last year talking about nappy headed motherfuckers. This is just who they are. That's who their
Yeah,
background is.
yeah, yeah. And so listen, but at the same time, that's just jealousy
yeah,
because we don't got to do that. We don't. That's not our. I mean, that's just black people. We just, as terrible as we still the bond. We still cool as hell, and we don't gotta subscribe all that shit, and we fuck with everybody. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. You know how
right,
we is. Even I
right.
would say they try to might put it to our detriment, but I think we just a loving people, maybe to a fault. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? We
read that.
love Mexicans.
Been read
We
that way.
love, you know what I mean? Ever
Yeah,
since Bruce Lee and shit, we fuck with karate and you know what I mean. Even though we probably started the shit, we started it and all this stuff. But I'm just saying, even if you go back to the '70s, with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and that whole Bruce Lee movement, we were showing love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm gonna get you something. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
Man,
uh,
Right.
Jim Kelly.
we just them type of people that if we see something, what I'm saying, we know how to uh uh you know
You know how to
enjoy
add
it
spice
too.
to it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah.
So that's just our culture, and we just the best, and so I don't really worry about those type of
Uh,
things. And them guys, they done had their day. Them guys is suffering. Tank is at the top. He's doing major things.
Yeah.
Crawford is at the top. He's doing major things. Where them guys at? Them guys bums. You fighting Rolly. You know what I'm saying? T.O., you fighting. You know what
Barbosa.
I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
he fighting that on the undercard. He fighting on the undercard in his hometown.
That's
Think
crazy.
about that.
That's crazy work.
and listen, and even
Five-time
though even
champion.
though even though Rolly was a champion, that was bullshit.
Yeah, we
And
know
and
that.
and
Oh
Ryan
yeah. Oh
Garcia
yeah.
never
Oh yeah.
and Ryan Garcia never been a champion.
That's crazy.
And Ryan Garcia never been a champion. You understand? He never been a champion. He didn't take the WBC title from Devin. So
Hey,
hey
listen,
man, you know what I'm
hey,
saying?
Bernie, you
I
right.
bet
Hey,
I guarantee
Rolly,
you this though. I guarantee you this though, that they gonna stay far away from me with that shit because I don't got nothing
Hey,
to lose. I'm a broke nigga. I'll fuck them niggas up. I'll slap them niggas. I'll
hey,
throw
hey,
I'll
hey,
throw the fucking wire on them niggas. I'll fuck them
hey,
nah,
niggas
I
up.
don't want
I
that
do
for
some
you,
shit to
Bernie.
them
nah,
Leave
niggas.
them niggas
hey,
alone. I
but you
don't
know
want
what,
Hey,
that.
Bernie?
coach, you
It's
come
Do
not,
some
on.
shit
it's
to
It's
them
all
not
right.
even
niggas,
worth
man.
it. It's not even worth it,
I
Bernie.
do
Hey,
something
I
to
got a
them niggas,
question for
man.
Bernie, CDK.
Go ahead.
No, no, and I appreciate everything you just said. Most def, them niggas are clowns, but that's what they gonna do at the end of the day. But getting off the racial issue for a second, going back to the fight, a lot of people, like you said in the beginning, they're picking against Bud. They don't believe he could
Yeah,
win this fight.
yeah,
I'm in that majority as well. Sorry to say,
yeah.
but
That's
just
cool.
looking at that, looking at the first Charlo fight, and then you also look at the American fight. This is something Canelo's known for doing. He's known for pulling up smaller guys and then really just beating them to death. Now, I don't think that's gonna happen to Crawford. I think from what I've been seeing, he's been putting on weight. I
Yeah, he
don't think
look
he's
good.
gonna come in there like Mel and just expect to I don't really know what Mel was trying to do. I think Mel just came for a payday.
He
But I
did.
don't expect that from Crawford.
You cold,
What's
man.
one attribute that you think Crawford is bringing to this fight that Canelo cannot get around that you think is going to frustrate him? And what do you think the people could definitely expect from the champ coming into this fight?
His jab,
Mm.
Mm.
his jab, his jab.
You think that's the key to
And,
victory?
and when you say it's
You think that's
jab,
the
I think the only thing that people worry about is Canelo does a lot of that Rocky Marciano shit where he'll beat up your arms, punch you all in the hips. You know what I mean?
yeah?
Kind of wear you down with that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering, will that affect Bud? You think he'll be ready for that, getting hit all in the hips inside and, you know, peeling his guard, that type of stuff. Because Canelo know a lot of them old dirty tricks. Man, he uses. People don't realize that's what he be doing. you know, he do a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
So
stuff
do
on the pit.
Crawford.
Go ahead.
So do Crawford.
He knows all the tricks.
Oh yeah,
So do Crawford.
Crawford Cole with that glove over the nose.
Oh yeah, I
So
Yeah,
forgot
yeah,
Crawford a
yeah, yeah.
wrestler.
He
I
definitely
forgot
is.
that.
so do
Let me
Crawford
ask
know how to
Bernie. Let
peel
me
the
ask
guard.
Bernie
So
this.
do Crawford know how to hit on the arm. So do Crawford know how to do all the same things too, though.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Bernie. Like they're saying all of that right there. Looking into this fight right here is Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a great fight. It's definitely gonna be a great fight. Do you think
Just
Bud
don't,
gonna get?
just don't be shocked when we beat his ass
No,
and
no.
fuck him up.
I want him to win. Listen,
I don't want
I
I
want
don't
Bud
want
to
y'all to
win.
start saying, I don't want y'all to say this and say that and make up no excuse and
No, we want him to
Nah,
win.
it's, you
If
nah,
if
know,
Bud
cause
so
cause
wins,
like,
I'm gonna
like I
be.
just
Hold on.
said, I
If he
don't see the
wins,
man
I'm gonna
winning.
be
So
happy
if
for
he
Bud.
win, I can't do nothing but get his boy credit. Especially
That
when you
man,
think about he
man.
started at 135.
Yeah. Can't you never get that man respect and credit? I'm saying this right here. Do you think Crawford, if he does win this fight, we don't know what the future holds. Do you think that that's the end of the road, or do you think he continues on?
I mean, after you do that, I don't think there's nothing else to be doing.
That's what I want to hear. Yeah, definitely, definitely right about that.
You
So,
don't think Canelo gonna want the rematch? You
yeah,
don't think Crawford gonna come back and you don't think Crawford might want to come back and try to be the A side or get 50-50?
mm,
Well, right now, I wouldn't even say he's the he'd be the if it's I don't even think he's the B side. I think it's A1 and A2. I think he'd be
yeah,
the A2 side. So
they getting paid
I'm
great money.
exactly.
That's for sure.
I'm sure I'm not necessarily knowing, but
From what I seen, I could
I'm
be
I'm,
wrong. They said
I'm sure.
Canelo getting
But
70, Crawford getting 50. If those reports are true, that's great money. Either way, that's A1 and A2, like you said. That's a lot of money. And Turkey makes it
But
like that.
CDK, if Bud go in there and whoop him, I think both of them boys could get $100 million a piece for the rematch.
Oh, I
Cause
agree.
what did Fury and Usyk get
well,
for their rematch?
A whole lot.
Well, I asked you this. I asked you this on a
And
lighter
I
note,
think
though.
that fight
I
would
asked
be
you this on a
even
lighter
bigger
note.
over here.
What does it feel like to see somebody, a childhood friend, and you guys from the ghetto, man? How does it feel to come from like
Yeah.
the
as we
bottom
all as
and
we
do
all
you? How does that feel? Say it again.
I mean, it's just like I said, as we all are from the
Oh yeah,
ghetto,
for
as
sure.
we
Yeah.
all are, as we all
Definitely,
are.
definitely.
So, well, it's just like anybody. Nobody starts from the top. Nobody. None of them boxers they don't start they don't start at the top. You got to start at the bottom.
Right.
So, just to see Crawford already seen it in him since he was 12 years old, 13 years old, and just now is just being in the moment. Already knew he was a champion. Already knew he was special in a boxing, and for sure. And so it's I don't know. Like I said, already knew he was gonna be champ of the world. Already knew he been whooping ass and beating everybody just all since a baby. You know what I mean?
He was fighting
If
back
you
then.
if no Crawford even in his amateur fights, he never been beaten. He
hmm
lost some fights, but Crawford has never been dominated or beaten. Never.
Mm.
So you know what I mean?
Did you ever spar him, Bernie, when you was boxing? Did y'all ever spar anything?
Yeah, I was his biggest sparring partner. I'm 7 years older than Bud, so
Okay.
I was his biggest influence and his top sparring partner, or will you say that? We worked together. I babied him up.
Yeah.
So I was the one he was looking at. One he wanted to beat. One he wanted to learn a lot from, take things from. So yeah, that's my guy. Bud been with him since he was 7. So for me to him to be at this point, I'm not shocked. I'm just glad he got the opportunity because a lot of times when you coming from the amateurs, like I say, they looking for a certain location that you coming from or certain ties that you have. But Bud didn't have that. He was just whooping ass, and so he wasn't sought after by the top companies at the time. He wasn't sought after top rank and all these guys looking for him, trying to sign him. He started in a small promotional company, and then he got discovered later on. So it's just the opportunity. All he needed was the opportunity, and every time he got the opportunity, he shined through. So come September 13th, Lord willing, if the
I,
fella make it there, we gonna do the same thing. We gonna do the same thing.
Yes,
Crawford
sir.
gets down. Crawford gets busy. He gets busy,
Oh, he definitely get busy.
busy,
I,
He get busy. I
busy,
think they get from him.
busy.
And let
And
me
he's
ask you this,
stronger
Bernie.
than an ox. He's strong. Them dudes ain't got nothing. Bevo ain't as cold as him. Lara not as cold as Bud. Charlo definitely wasn't as cold as
talk about
Bud.
it.
Hey,
Bud is a nigga, man.
hold it,
Bud
Bernie.
is that
Hold
nigga,
it,
man.
Bernie. Hold it, Bernie.
And we talking about man, go ahead. What you said?
Now I'm finna say, I hold Lauren in real high regard. One of my favorite fighters, man. I like that dude. That dude got some. He got, hey, right now at 40. I'm saying what he's doing right now at 40 is remarkable, man. I got real respect for Lauren as a boxer. Great fighter, great fighter.
Oh yeah, I mean, but
I,
Laura, he not he
Not no
basic
book.
as hell. He a boxer moving. He got some power now. He got some
Yeah,
he got yeah, because he old man now.
yeah, he been
He got some
yeah,
sleeping
power,
dudes,
but
Bernie.
Laura ain't fighting nobody.
yeah. Well, he got ran from a lot too. I think. I feel like he was one of those people that you talked about, like Bud and Rigondeaux. He got ducked a lot too in his career.
He got his shot
Nah,
and didn't do nothing.
I think he won that fight.
Running away,
I think he beat Canelo.
running away.
He ran
I,
from
I ain't gonna
Canelo.
call it running. I called it good boxing. I feel like he beat Canelo. This is my. I
He
respect
never
his opinion.
stood and fought with that man. He never walked him down. He never stepped to that man. He ran on the back foot the whole time. You
You
can't
know, a
win
lot
a
of
fight
yeah.
on the back foot like that.
Hey,
And he
Brian,
was
let me ask
catching
you
with Canelo
I,
one shot at a time. He was hitting him at one. He wasn't catching him with combination. He was hitting him one shot at a time. He was running for dear life. You can't not do that. You
this.
got to step to the man to win the fight. He never stepped to Canelo. Period. He never stepped to that man.
Yeah.
Never. Never heard him. Never, nothing. He never stepped to that man and stood and fought that man. He ran on the back foot the whole time.
I got a,
Crawford is
I got,
not going to do that.
yeah, question, Bernie. Looking back at that, after you beat Spence the first time, well, you only beat him
Yeah,
once, but after you had beat Spence, that victory day, that victory parade in Omaha, I think you had it in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
something absolutely special to have for y'all and the entire community to come out and celebrate your boy's victory. After y'all whoop Canelo, are y'all gonna do it bigger and badder?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure his which is his star status is way up there, and it's not really they're not really taking because he doesn't rub shoulders with these guys out in the public. He's not being with all these people. He's not changing his circle. So his
Mm.
star status is huge. I've never if any boxer on here and I challenge him. Nobody's writing no songs about no other boxers, putting their names in songs, drawing so many pictures. Bud, every Halloween, somebody is being Bud for Halloween. Somebody is being Bud for they bringing them up for Black History all over the country, not just in my hometown. I haven't seen none of these guys used as Black History. I haven't seen none of these guys being no songs are being wrote about them. I have not seen nobody drawing no pictures or these guys. None of these guys. So I think Crawford, man, his star status is way up there, and far as is a parade probably I don't know, but he definitely the North Side Omaha's favorite son,
Yeah.
and the people's champion. Crawford is just a people's champion.
Hmm.
He's the guy that walks on his own. He don't need no entourage. He don't have to put on no airs. You know, like I say, he just be himself. And so Crawford, sometimes when they say you too real and you make people feel some type of way, that's what Crawford do when he walk in a room and everybody, all them phonies, they start turning green. They look gold, but they start turning green when Crawford get in the room because, he just so real. He
Yeah.
he got everything that everybody could think about, but he don't show it. You know, um, like I say, Crawford, man, if you don't love Crawford, something wrong with you. If you can't respect Crawford, something wrong with you. The way he moved, the way he talked, he never puts nobody down. None of his opponents. He always give them much praise. He never acts a fool after he win. He carries himself with class every single time. So Crawford, man, shoot.
I
And if
agree. Let
anybody
me
don't,
got some questions over here in the audience. D Free says, how do you feel about Shakur versus Keyshawn?
well, like I'm trying, that's not a fight that should happen. I mean, again, if like Keyshawn said, how you can't understand that money ain't everything. They already world champions. If I'm with you this is not about boxing. I've been with you in life.
Yeah.
When you're going through something in life, when you're in a situation, a vulnerable situation in life, and I'm there for you and we're sticking through each other, why would we? That don't make no sense. Now, if I just knew you and we just knew each other and we get together as love because we in the boxing community and yada yada yada, but he lived with this man. I'm actually eating meals with you, we're waking up together, we're discussing we're brothers, bro. We're brothers. There's
Definitely.
no need to fight. There's no need for that to fight. Just because we're in the same weight class, they didn't want they didn't ever press Klitschko and them to fight.
Right.
They wondered about it. They never pressed them. They never say Marquez should move up to from 22 to 20, from 18 to 22 to fight his brother. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't want Canelo didn't fight his brother. Cotto didn't fight his brother. I
Yeah.
mean, either one. I mean, it just no matter if they champion or not, they're not fighting. It just don't make no sense.
I
So
agree. I got
and I'm saying is but this is what I'm saying. When they talked about Zab Judah and Mayweather, yeah, they probably was tight in a sense that boxing tight and get a little closer. But these guys have been through something personal together, truly in a personal situation that has nothing to do with boxing or no goofy shit. So no, I don't think they should fight. They got their own trajectories. That's why it's 4 belts, right? So they can go their own way and do whatever the fuck they want, right? It's 4 belts. Okay, so he got his belt. He can make his own way, go do his own thing. Keyshawn is a bigger guy, probably gonna move up to 40. Who knows? But at the same time, they doing their own thing. So no, I don't think that. It's plenty of other guys for them to fight without them fighting each other.
definitely. And Ben Sanders said he wanted to know that Crawford's father used to box.
Not in the sense that Crawford boxed.
Right.
His uncle Michael McNeil was a star. His uncle Michael McNeil that passed away was a star. Was the star boxer.
Okay, definitely.
But it's been around, like I say, the gym that we come from is the owner lived right around the corner from Bud, only separated through an alley. So in the big in the community, Carl, the boxing gym been around since the 70s. So everybody used to fight for Carl. People always go through the gym and you know what I mean, been like that.
How you feel
Well,
about?
well, Bert.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I just wanted to expound on the question that was asked in the chat about Shakur and Keyshawn. Well, because I think the brother just wanted to know what was your opinion on the outcome of what could happen.
Oh,
Because I think things can change sometimes. Because I remember there was a time when Devin and Shakur were pretty good friends, and then it
yeah.
just flipped overnight. Now I don't know. I don't think they have a relationship like a Shakur and Keyshawn. I think they've been they came up. They really came up in the game together from young. But who do you think will win that fight? Just from a stylistic standpoint.
I couldn't tell you who gonna win that fight. You just know who those guys are. Now them both my guys. We all on the same team.
Hmm.
So I'm not gonna say who would I think will win the fight. I don't know who will win the fight. They both
Understood.
talented,
Yeah.
talented fighters, and they doing their own thing. Obviously Shakur jumped on the scene a little earlier. Was in the Olympics in 2016. Keyshawn in 2020. And so he's been on the stage higher. Keyshawn just made it to the World Championship a couple of months ago. But he's been looking spectacular in the lead up, and he looked spectacular winning the championship. And so it's it's gonna stir a little buzz, it's gonna make people talk. But again, to say what you said, to me was just unnecessary. When and that breeds a conversation, and it breeds try to breed separation by even saying things can change, and what gonna change because of y'all saying this. It's gonna be y'all, and just like they doing this, the newspapers putting it out, the public putting it out. So that's the only thing that could change is people saying that, because like you said, the main words you said was him and Devin, they didn't have that same relationship. So again, we're talking about something real personal and deep, not just because I know you from over there, you can box good, and nigga, since we was over there hanging out sometime because we was through camp or whatever, so nigga, we didn't got a little bond. Yeah, so we cool, but we talking about living in the house. You understand, struggling and striving, mentally, physically, emotionally, and all that type of shit together. So I don't believe them other guys did it. So for you
Yeah,
to say that, it don't even make no sense. Feel me? Now, like you said, the way it could change is just like they do with everything. They put it in a newspaper,
Right.
and they put this one higher than this one, keep pitting them against each other, and everybody keeps saying it. So then it can grow in that situation. But that's it. So no, them boys doing their thing, and I can't wait to see them keep doing their thing.
man, definitely. And
No, I
since you
totally
said
understand.
that, 1 second, let me ask Vernon this. Shakur and Gary Antoine Russell. Shakur Stevens said he would, saying, either go up, or I think Gary would be willing to come down. How do you feel about that fight?
Well, man, I'm telling you, when you get in front of Shakur, it's just different. That guy know how to win. So, man, he very rarely makes mistakes. So how you gonna beat him? You know, like I say, who can crack the code? Gary looked at his best beating Rayo, and Rayo was, I wouldn't know what you would rate him, but a good fighter. But they put Gary Russell in position to win that championship. They gave him the weakest champion to win the championship. Um, just like they did with his
Hmm.
brother. They gave him washed up Johnny Gonzalez to win the title. You
So,
know, which
Johnny.
which is still which he
Let me
I think Gary Antoine Russell is the best
let,
at 140, in my opinion, right now. I think he can beat either one of the champions. I would love for him to fight Alberto Puello again. But right now, if I just me
but he
looking
didn't
at,
beat Puello. He
well,
did not
yeah,
beat
yeah, I was
Puello.
gonna say that.
no, I said
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think if they fight
Bernie do
again,
got
he
a
can beat
point
him.
because that belt is a little janky. Like the last three dudes
Hold
that
on, hold
had
on,
it,
Marvin Dan.
like
Hold on
the
one second.
first title defense they got beat to death,
Marvin Dan,
like
hold on
something
one second.
nasty.
What did you say,
Then
Brian? I
on
couldn't
top
hear
of the
you.
fact Gary lost to Puello.
Yeah,
That's what
what'd you
I'm
say, Brian?
saying. He didn't beat Puello.
No, I think he can if they fight
Yeah,
again. I love to
I
see it.
want to see.
No,
I think
he would
Gary's
probably
one
want
of
to
them
beat
guys at 140, but I want to see him defend that belt first, because that belt, the champions that's been holding it, they've been a little janky.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask you this, Brian. This is my last question, man, 'cause I know you've been so gracious with your time. They got a guy out there, young guy named Emiliano Vargas. What you think about that young guy? I think he's the next one. What about you?
Well, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about Emilio Vargas. His dad was a tremendous fighter, and I'm not high on. I I haven't watched him to see nothing about him. Just see what he at 35. Is he at 35 or 47?
He's at 40 now.
40?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. I wouldn't.
A
His
I'm
brother just got beat to death the other weekend, I think, or that
I'm
might have
not
been his
I'm not
cousin.
looking at those guys. I'm looking at No, I'm not looking at those guys. I'm not high on those guys. I'm looking at the Nakatanis and Bam Rodriguez's, and those type of guys. And Lester
Oh, that's a
Martinez, and
great fight.
these guys. If you're talking about a up and comer, you think he next? Like I say, Lester Martinez, he's next.
Yeah,
Um, Night Night Davis, like I say, 140 pounder, a hard puncher, unorthodox style, he's coming, he got the pop, he got the range, he got the team, he got the everything. So, these are the guys I'm looking at. Vargas, you got a big name, but I'm not necessarily impressed with them type of guys.
Big Baby
What
Anderson.
do you got? You said who?
What about Big Baby Anderson?
Oh, Baby Anderson. Baby
Yeah.
Anderson, Baby Anderson, he gotta do some soul searching. Baby Anderson, if this is the this is the
Yeah.
if this is the thing that you gotta want to do. You can't just do it. You gotta want to do it, in my opinion. But Big Baby, he wanted to fight. I thought he wanted to fight. Yeah, he just don't look interested in boxing, which I got from him. Maybe he in it just for the money. He's not enthusiastic about the boxing part. But yeah, Big Baby, he got some skills. Big Baby cold. Big Baby could be the one. If he really believed it, I think Big Baby could be the one. He moved like a middleweight, and he got everything you could think about, but shoot, he just don't show no enthusiasm. He
You
didn't
think
look
you think
into it.
size will bother him too because he's kind of short for that new heavy for the super heavyweight division we got going on?
Nah, I think it's just his mindset.
Okay.
I
I
think
mean,
he went in there and boxed that
Usyk is
dude. That
considered a
dude was,
short heavyweight in this era, BVO.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he was 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 6'3",
6'3".
Jared 6'4".
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think I don't think Jared is 6'4". I think he might be about 6'3" because I'm 6'5". When I seen him, I can see the top of his head. I don't think
Yeah,
he.
Big
Damn.
Baby though got the talent like a motherfucker though. He big
Yeah,
enough
he.
to win to beat all them guys. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Except say maybe Usyk, because Usyk is different type of motherfucker. Usyk is a different animal, but Big Baby got a lot of talent, a lot of skills, and if he hunker down and he could do something.
Definitely. I ain't gonna hold you up too much longer, man. Bernie, I appreciate you. I know you, man, you're a busy man out there in Vegas, man. We wish your team nothing but success, and I'm ready. I can't wait to September, man, to see. And I hope Bud goes out there, man, and pulls it off. That right there will be really remarkable, and that definitely will put him
Now,
in
now,
mid
but
time.
the thing about it too, though, y'all making like Canelo like he unbeatable or
No,
something.
no, no,
He
no,
been
no.
no, 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 no. Yeah, y'all make it like he unbeatable or something. And y'all trying to, and I feel like at the same time, y'all
Mm-hmm.
trying to y'all trying to not give Crawford mostly the credit. Ain't it really about the size? It's about the Madrimov performance, and
Nah,
it's about the Madrimov performance because none of them guys that Canelo he ain't look good in nothing. I mean, he's a good fighter,
Uh,
but he should have knocked out Edgar Berlanga. He should have knocked out Munguia. He should have
Facts.
stopped them guys.
Facts.
The white boy that went, not, excuse me, I don't mean it like that, but the other kid that
John
went to
Ryder.
in his hometown,
We know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
he should have knocked them guys out, man. And Crawford would have knocked them guys out. So we talking about Crawford know how to fight on the inside, know how to fight on the outside, and he got power, and he got natural strength. You seen it if you watched him. You see him dead lift 600 pounds or whatever it was. I don't know. I mean,
so
so this guy,
Uh,
and we talk if when we talking about the Madrimov fight again. When you watch that fight, we dominated the fight.
uh,
He dominated the fight. He dominated the
uh,
fight. That guy did never get out of line now one time. He stayed in check the whole time. So you cannot go through one fighter in the history of boxing, the greatest of them all, who just looks spectacular in every fight. Now we talking about a guy who's a well-rounded fighter, a strong fighter, not necessarily seasoned at the pros, but he been around boxing a long time. He was a top amateur. He been in the camps of all these guys. You know what I mean? He went out there and actually shit the bed. He didn't do nothing. He had to throw some punches. Yeah, he threw a punch. That was it. And every time he started to get anytime a Crawford always took the momentum, took the play away from him, busted him up. Crawford had that little abrasion over his eye, but Madrimov couldn't even take his glasses off. If you watch him, Madrimov was busted up all over his whole face. Crawford the next day looked the exact
man.
same. I don't even think he had that scratch on his eye, that welt on his eye. I think that motherfucker was gone.
mm,
So I mean, when we talking about the and then you gotta and I think that's the reason why that everybody's hating down on Crawford, like thinking that, because like I say, Crawford, I mean, he ain't been buzzed since uh, Mean Machine. He got buzzed against Mean Machine. He ain't been buzzed since that. How long ago was that?
Okay.
He beat the fuck out of him after the third round.
And you right.
So we've been going up and whooping up. We beat Sean
Nah.
Porter
So
easy.
Hold on, Mark. Hold on, because I want to make sure that Bernie able to get it all out. And I want to say this right here, Bernie, now to answer that. I'm not even basing it off the last fight. So I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not one of those people that's a prisoner of the moment. And one thing about me, anybody know me, there ain't never gonna be a hating bone in my body, especially for another black man. And that's just how I roll. I feel like this. The things I'm looking at is what I see physically, and I feel like I'm putting it on paper. I could be wrong, but believe me when I say I'm going for Crawford, I'm rooting for Crawford.
Physically, what? Okay. When you say physically, what do you mean,
I'm gonna
bro?
break it down to you for one.
Canelo's gonna be 200 pounds when he
Hold
get in
on.
that ring,
Yeah,
though.
there you go. We know
He gonna be
Canelo's gonna
200
come in the ring around 200. We know Bud Crawford is basically moving up from 147 to 168. These are things and questions that's got to be answered. And when people ask these questions, it's not hate. It's a person asking real questions and want real answers because we
I
have history
understand.
on this
I
man. And it's not,
understand. I
yeah.
understand. But you saying he gonna weigh more than Bud? Okay, so then that's your whole basis because he gonna
No,
weigh
that's
more
not
than
my
Bud.
basis. I think he's physically a stronger man. I think he'll be the stronger man in the ring. I think
Okay,
power
but
wise,
has
he has
Bud
a better
been
chin.
has Bud been ever been the not the physically stronger man?
Well, Bud never faced Canelo.
Okay, so I'm saying so you saying but Bud has not been pushed around or physically been pushed around.
No,
Well, Madrimov
not at
did push
nah,
back
but
127.
a little
And
bit.
yeah, in the
yeah, but
Madrimov
he ain't
fight,
never fought at 168 though, Bernie.
right. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
And these are just
Okay.
honest, saying questions and opinions. I think everybody up here wants Crawford to win.
Yeah,
But
we
when
all
No,
we
no,
get.
no.
Hey,
No,
coach, I'm saying that in the
But
ring.
you're
let me
saying,
say that. I want Crawford to win a
but you're
thousand
saying
percent. And
based off because he's gonna weigh more. That's what
no,
you basing this
I think
off of.
everybody heard what
Well,
I'm saying.
I'll tell you what I'm basing off. You look at the chin that Canelo's. Now you absolutely right. It could change because we know Bud then put a couple dents in people's chin. The chin that we've seen historically, and the fact that he's big and he's skilled. The
Yeah,
main thing that Canelo is going to struggle with is the hand speed. That's one of the reasons why Canelo didn't like to fight those smaller guys because Bud is still throwing fast,
yeah,
and I'm wondering is Bud still as athletic as he once was? Because if
right,
this was when he was like maybe 4 years younger, it might be different. We don't know what he'll look like at 37.
right,
But I'm thinking we're gonna see more of a fight like we seen with Canelo. I think Bud is gonna be walking him down because I know Bud is not gonna let Canelo just come forward. He's not gonna do that. That's not gonna make any sense. So if he's walking him down, punching him in and out, that's the way I can see him winning. Because
right.
that's what we see Dimitri Bivol do. But I think Canelo is gonna try to little boy him, throw him against the ropes like he did Caleb Smith, punch him in the hips, punch him in the, them punches is different when you're at that different weight class, which
They different.
you're a
They
pro.
different.
You're a pro. So we more or less going off what we've seen
And,
historically.
and,
Canelo is
and,
big as
and
But
hell.
but
That's
but
why
did you fight? Did you fight?
no, I played in the NFL though, but I didn't fight. No, I didn't fight.
So you know the punch is different because you fought, or you just saying that because Canelo's big and Crawford is perceived as little.
those punches are
No, what
different.
happened? I went to a gym and I had a guy who was really little, and I'm 6'5", 330, and I almost threw up when dude hit me in the chest, and he was like only like 180 pounds. So that's what I'm assuming. If he punching like that, I can't imagine how a pro is punching. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I could be wrong. I could
Okay,
be wrong.
No, yeah, no,
so
you're
so
right,
then
D-Bill.
again,
You're right.
you talking a guy that then you talking about an amateur
Right.
who got you who you outweighed by over 100 some pounds, right?
Right.
And you said he hurt you, right?
Yeah, he did.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we talking about not even 100 pounds separating these guys, and we talking about a professional.
Let me ask you a
Okay,
question,
you
Bernie.
got a point.
Because
You got a point.
hold on. But
You
let me say
got
something
a
about
point.
that though. You can be a great professional. That don't mean that you got more power than an amateur. That don't mean that. That don't mean that at all. And just let's keep it real. It definitely don't
But
mean that.
when we talking
We
about an
talking about
amateur though,
yeah, we
but
talking
we're
about
not just
power
talking
and
about a
knowing how to
pro.
stay
We're
in
talking
front.
about the best in the world. That's what we comparing it to. We talking
Right.
about the and we talking about what an amateur. When you think of amateur, but we think of amateur. An amateur don't know how to use his power in a way like a professional. That's why when you become a professional, it's just not just a word. You
Yeah.
understand? It's just not just a word. We talking professional.
I don't think you
So
can set
we still
I'm
talking
sorry.
two professionals.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about two professionals. Now
Right.
we talking about I never even seen Canelo fight on the inside for real. I
I
don't even
think
know.
I don't think Canelo has to show you he can fight on the inside a lot because people are not really too keen on standing in front of him, and there's a reason for that. And I don't think, just me being honest, that's not. I don't think that's the fight that Bud needs to fight. Standing in front of Canelo is crazy. I think it's crazy work, and I think anybody that stands in front of Canelo will be looking up at the lights.
If you're talking about the knee,
Yeah,
you're talking
okay.
about him being long in the tooth because I think Canelo, anytime you get over 60 fights, you don't look the same. So
No,
if you're saying that, I'll give you that. You definitely got a point on that. I don't know if Canelo is gonna be the same because he's getting old, man. He's just getting old. It's just
But
that simple. But
how does
but
we'll
Canelo?
but
see. Who
He
thinks
said
the
about
fight is made?
Crawford,
We get to see it.
and Crawford don't look like he's showing no signs. Y'all just keep talking about he's 37. He don't look like he's showing no signs. Mayweather was 37 when he fought Canelo, and
You
he
think?
kept going. Mayweather was 40-some years old. I mean, we talking about, man, come
yeah,
on. So we
Let
talking
me ask
about
you.
37, like
No, he's not an old
37 is
37, Bernie. He's not an old 37. But let me ask you this: in the last fight with Madrigal, because I'm looking at everybody over here, what they saying. A lot of people said that was a tough fight for Bud. Now, do you think, honest assessment of that fight, do you think it was Bud going up in weight, adjusting to the weight, or just the way Madrigal moved around the ring was more than anything? He was just one of those fighters, whatever you want to call it. He moved around real well. You know what I'm saying? He was in and out, herky jerky style, whatever you want to call it. Do you think it had more to play with that, with Crawford not being able to get him out of there? Or did the power translate, is what I'm asking?
you didn't see the fight, bro? Did you
Yeah,
watch the fight?
I watched the
How
fight.
many times? How many times you watched the fight?
I watched it twice.
All right. So you watched it twice, and
Yes.
you didn't see that we hurt the man. That every
I,
time we was putting the hands on, every time we started putting the hands on him, the man started holding. The
what?
man went throw no punches. Did he fight the same fight? Did he fight Virgil Ortiz? I didn't watch the fight, but
Uh,
I guarantee you he put out more against Virgil Ortiz. He
I
wasn't
think
doing all that fainting. Was
Virgil,
he?
Virgil,
What?
Virgil
I
had a
thought
real
no, I
dominant
think
Oh, he was
performance.
he
hella
ran from
cautious versus
Virgil.
Bud.
Yeah,
That's
he
a
ran.
fact. Bud had him with his hands in his pocket.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we this is the thing. If he was fighting Canelo at 160, I would say okay. But we talking about two whole weight classes. But I don't know. But Bud has surprised me before. I mean, when he went in there and the way he demolished, so many people, Julius and Dungo, Errol.
Mhm.
I think he could do it.
Y'all
It's just
keep
like I
talking
said,
about
we're going
Earl,
off
and
of
y'all know,
stories.
y'all. Listen, another thing too though. It's a thing too though. People about boxing, y'all talk a lot about boxing, but don't know nothing about no boxing for real. You know who he is, you know where he won, you know who he beat, but don't know actually nothing about no boxing.
I know
Because
plenty
if
about
you
boxing. I can't let you get away with saying
if
that.
you if you then what would you think he was going? How was Earl Spence gonna beat Bud?
At the time,
He had no chance
I
of beating Bud when you think about it.
listen.
You know what it was? I'm
You
gonna be
let me tell
real.
you this, Burn. I
It
can
was
say this
nothing but
right here.
fandom. It was
I
all
I
fandom
pick more.
because
Thank
Hold on,
thank you,
BBO.
thank
I
you.
pick
no,
more
I'm
times
being real
right.
because if we think
I
about it,
know,
we
no,
know
I
for
know
a
that,
fact.
I know that. So that's
No,
why
what
I'm
I'm
trying
saying
to
is
listen to
this.
what our boy gonna say. That's why I'm,
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Okay, I ain't gonna put no sugar on the grits. I ain't doing all that. What I'm gonna say is this: I pick more times right than I've been wrong. So that tells me what I need to know. Anytime I put my money down on the fight, I usually come out and people in the comment section to know they see my tickets. So I have to know something. So I can't let that go. What I'm saying is this right here. Anybody can be wrong. You can pick a fight. Just because you pick that fight wrong don't mean you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? You picked wrong before, Bernie. Everybody ain't a person yet that ain't picked wrong.
Listen, listen, listen. No, 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 no. I pick because I'm going with my heart when
Right.
I'm talking. If I pick wrong, but so like I said, but we talking about boxing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
went with
about
Earl
why would
Spence
you
because it
think
was my
that man
heart.
out of? We talking about boxing, okay? We talking about skills and who can win this and who
Right.
can do that. We ain't talking about no heart. We talking about boxing.
Hold
So
on.
what did you see in that man that you thought that man could beat Bud?
The
That's
same
what I'm
thing you
saying. You
see,
didn't
the
see
same thing
nothing.
you see in Bud beating Canelo. You going with your heart. And that's what I went with Earl. The same
I ain't
thing.
going with my heart, you silly motherfucker. I ain't going with my
You
fucking
a silly
heart.
motherfucker,
Nigga,
bitch.
I
Fuck you
told you,
think you
I told you
talking
I'm
to?
going with my jab. I'm going
Looking
with
ass, dumb
experience. I'm
ass
going
nigga.
with, man, we gonna do all kind of shit. What you talking? I'm not talking about, I ain't talking about going with my heart. Fuck you
Watch how you
talking
talk
about.
to me,
That's,
nigga.
so I asked you, no, we be talking though. So I asked
Oh,
you,
don't listen.
so I
You
asked
say what
you,
you want to say, but don't disrespect me. Don't do that. I'm gonna give you the same
all right,
respect you gonna give me. I'm a man, you a
you,
man. Don't play with
You
me
right,
like
you
that.
right, you right in a certain
Don't do
respect,
that.
but now I'm
Don't do
talking
that.
to you. But now I'm talking to you about boxing because I'm
All
pressing
right,
you.
talk about
Because now
boxing.
I'm
Let's keep
pressing
it
you.
there.
Because I'm pressing you. Because now I'm pressing you though.
You can't
I'm
press
not
me.
in that.
You will never press a nigga like me.
I'm not mad about. I'm not mad about what you're saying. But I want you to. That's my point. Was this? Y'all talk about boxing,
Really
so I
can't press
asked
me.
you. So I asked you. So I asked you. So I'm asking you, I asked you that question, and so you said your heart. So we talking about skill, we talking about what you think, and then I'm asking you about boxing, and you told me what did you see that he could beat Bud with?
I'm
I was
asking
asking
you,
you.
what do you see Bud got that can beat Canelo? It's the same thing. Don't
I
nobody
just
see what the
told you.
Bud brings to the
I
table to
told
beat
you.
Canelo
Our
if we keep it
jab,
real right
our
now.
movement, our combinations,
Man, huh?
they're second to none. The
What?
jab, the
Listen,
combinations,
I'm gonna say this
the
right here. I wish Crawford number the best. You come back in September and we're gonna have the same conversation. And I'm gonna sit there and tell you, you win with your heart and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your guy. You're supposed to ride with Bud till the wheels fall off. Nobody wants to tell you that. Ain't
okay, but
nothing wrong
listen.
with that.
Okay, but listen, hold on. So I'm asking you. So you saying so you said the only reason why you went with Spence because it was your heart.
Yeah, it ain't no wrong with that. Ain't no
Okay,
wrong
all
with
right.
that. I
Okay.
did.
So like I said, so we talking about boxing. Okay, but we talking about boxing. We're not giving no reason. You like you said, you want to know why would I think he could beat this person? Why would I? You just going off straight your heart.
No. But Canelo, it ain't no hard because I want Bud to win. But when I'm breaking it down and what I see, I think it's a tall task. It's a tough task. It's not.
Okay,
It's
okay,
not gonna
all
be an
right,
easy
okay, 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 okay. And you saying it's a tall task because Canelo got a chin, right?
No, that, man, everybody right here to hear what I said. It ain't just about no chin. Canelo brings more than a chin into that ring. And if y'all think that's all he brings, then y'all definitely gonna be in trouble.
No. Okay. And what else do we bring?
He ain't what
Okay,
Historically,
he
when we
brings.
seen the
Physicality.
big skilled fighter
Yeah.
always beat the skilled little fighter.
what's
Historically,
his best weapon though? What's Canelo's best weapon?
the way he cuts off the ring
Yes.
and the way he can press the action because you can't get away from him. When Canelo want to get you out of there, he want to cut the ring off. I think he's one of the best we've seen in the last 30 years in cutting the ring off.
Cutting the ring off.
So
Yeah,
so
and
so
his
why he
counter
ain't
punching
stop
ability.
nobody in? Why he didn't stop none of them dudes that he been in the
Canelo
ring
been
with?
fighting
Because if
bigger
you look at
fights.
Canelo, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a big Canelo fan. The thing is, Canelo has lost a step. His
Yeah.
knee ain't the same. And Canelo is more cool with just winning and giving guys they money's worth. He's not
Okay.
looking to impress like he used to do. Because
No,
we
Okay.
seen him
So
in
you
there
don't
playing
think
with his
that's
foot.
gonna
Hold on, let me say this.
so you don't
Well,
think that's
it's the
gonna go
same
in
thing
our favor?
when we seen Bud playing with Errol. He could have been knocked Errol. He was in there playing with him. He was in there playing with him. You seen that. He's just trying to get the rounds in because he was shocked. This nigga is like, this is all this nigga is. You
No,
seen that.
bro,
He
you listen.
if
Now
Bud wanted to get Errol out of there, he would have got him out of there if he wanted to.
you
He
on
was
the
just playing with
outside
his foot.
looking.
Go ahead.
Bro, see what I'm saying? Now I'm sitting right there, right there, looking at it in the ring side.
Yeah.
That man still don't know. That man took a beating. He didn't want to quit. Bud hit that man with everything. That man didn't want to quit.
Oh, he didn't want to
The
quit. Okay.
referee should have stopped it.
Okay, I see
Bud
what you're
was
saying
doing
now.
everything he needed to. Bud wasn't just holding him around and holding him up. Bud was beating that man every which way. The referee should have been stopped it. The
I mean, he
man was
beat him to
just taking
death.
a beating.
He did. He beat him to death. Mark.
Man,
I
But
just
let
say
me say this. Hold on.
listen, let me tell you this.
go ahead.
Crawford is not the type of guy that's going to leave you hanging around. That's just not him.
Oh, he's
Okay.
not okay.
He's
Okay.
not going to leave you to hanging around. He's not going to do that. He boxed Madrimov. If Madrimov would have been more aggressive, because Crawford is a counterpuncher now. We understand that now. Crawford is a counterpuncher, right?
Right.
Every time Madrimov got off, he put Madrimov in check. And when he stepped to Madrimov, Madrimov held him. That was
He
Hey,
it.
did.
let
He
me say
did.
this
He
though. Let
did.
me say one thing. We talking about Canelo knocking people out. When Canelo fights smaller fighters, which is rarely, he knocks them out. Am I
I
lying
don't
in
know
the
when the last dude he knocked out,
I'm
besides
saying
Khan.
when has he fought a smaller fighter? When the last time he fought someone really smaller than him?
Charlo,
Caleb Plant.
Charlo, and he almost
Yeah.
put him to bed, but
He
Charlo
ran.
decided to run.
But when you take Caleb Plant, Amir Khan, anybody that ain't got no business, you know what I'm saying? Canelo gonna get him out of there. And you know, Bud, he in for a
No,
long
wait,
fight.
hold on. But we talking about Caleb Plant. You know, he always he fails at the end. He even in his fights that he won,
He
he
do.
gets tired. He fades. Canelo, he can't fight on the inside. You know, he don't have no. Caleb Plant is basic as hell too. And Amir Khan, we already know that. I mean, he. Come on now. I mean, and he make the mistakes. That's how he got caught. That's how he got caught. He was winning, but he got caught. He made too many mistakes, and that's the same thing with Earl Spence. They make too many mistakes. That's why they got beat. They make too many mistakes.
I
He
think
made too many mistakes.
I
Crawford
think
don't
Crawford
make
got
too
to be
many
careful.
mistakes, and that's
Right.
the thing that y'all don't understand is
Hold on.
Crawford don't make that many mistakes.
Hey, Burn, let me ask you this. This is something
Yeah.
I see. This is something I see, and I think you will attest to this. The thing that I've been saying, and I'm glad we talking about this now because this is what Crawford do that I think would be a detriment to him.
Mm.
Crawford, when you catch Crawford with a good shot, he does love to get his lick back. They say he get mean, he get nasty. I don't think he
Mm.
can do that against Canelo. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna have to pick and
I
choose. I
call
think
I
if he
call
makes
that
that
version of
mistake,
him Demon Bud, CDK.
yeah,
That's Demon
huh?
Bud. I call it Demon Bud
Yeah, yeah.
when that
I
side of
don't
Bud
think
Crawford
that
come out.
now that is a question to be answered. What happens when Canelo catch him with a good shot? Does he back up, reset, or does he try to go ahead and do what he do? Demon Bud, as he said.
He gonna go get him. Canelo gonna go get him. He's going to go get that man. Y'all
Damn.
watch and see. He's going to go get that man. And Canelo, he throw only a certain amount of shots. He throw the same shots, the wide overhand, the hook. He checks. He dips with the hook. He feints with the hook. Bro, he don't do that many punches. He don't throw that many punches. He's not that putting out that much output. He's a counter puncher himself. He's a counterpuncher himself, bro. So I mean, like I'm saying, man, believe me, we got everything down with this guy. We know everything that he can do. We gonna take everything that he got. We gonna take it away from him. Crawford go beat this guy, man. Crawford go beat this guy. Crawford's go beat this guy, man. Now, like I say,
Hey,
man,
Bird, if
Crawford
Crawford
is
pull it
gonna
off, then he
Crawford is gonna beat this guy. Crawford is gonna beat this guy, man. And like you said too, I felt the same way. He got 70 fights.
he's
He got
34.
70 fights. He
What is
stay in training camp, huh?
what is he 34? 30? What is he 34?
Yeah,
I
he
think he's
34.
35 this year.
He
35.
been pro since he was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, hey, he's staying in shape. He's staying in them training camps, but them training camps, I mean, so man, hey, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. It's a fight that I don't think Bud was necessarily looking for, but
What is
again, when you uh he's still young. 37, that's still young to just be a real estate mogul, to just be rich and to do that. That's too young
yeah, it's
to
great.
just
Yeah,
do that. So what I'm trying to say is this, is that it wasn't the fight he was looking for, but he's still young, and the excitement and the challenge. You understand? Come on, man, let's go.
but let me
All
ask you
right.
this though, Bernie, you right? They're still young to do a lot of that, and I'm looking like you said, man. If he pulls it off, he pulls it off. But what about when Bud was saying that he wouldn't take that fight? Canelo was just too big. He said that in plenty of interviews.
Yeah, because like I say, all right. In that time, he was getting ready for Earl Spence because they was talking about Earl Spence is gonna fight Canelo, which he never was gonna have a chance and never was gonna win. That probably gonna get knocked out.
Yeah,
But Crawford really wasn't thinking about it. But when you're sitting around and you get to thinking, and people keep putting in your head, you get to thinking, damn, maybe I can do that. I mean, just like everything else, anything anybody, you probably say no at first, just like being with anything, but they say, man, you got a chance. Maybe you got a chance. Crawford started thinking about it. Like he said, this guy's a smaller guy that moved up. He's a bigger guy, but he's a smaller guy that moved up. And we got the height. We can match him in the height. We got the reach. So what we got? So we got some things we can deal with. We got some things that we can exploit.
Don't
All
you
right,
think?
so it's a challenge.
Yeah, John, don't you think Canelo though at this point in his career is used to dealing with all that? Like he's always fighting the taller man. He's always fighting the guy with more reach. Usually physically bigger. So those are things like sometimes when people say, you know what I'm saying, they got the advantage to Canelo, I don't think he looks at it as an advantage. I think he looks at it just another day at the office.
It could be, but we talking about the skill set of the fighters. Kovalev was done when Canelo beat him. Let's
He
just
was,
say
yeah,
that.
he was. He was
All
very
He
right,
good.
was.
all right, all right, all
I
right, all
agree.
right.
I
So we
agree.
talking about the next taller guy, and then we talking about skill set too. McGee might have been taller, but his skill set was lacking. Berlanga's skill set was lacking. B-ball's skill set it was up there because he had the rank, he had the height, and he had the reach, and he had speed, and he got youth on his side too. B-ball only probably like 28, 29,
Yeah, he young.
maybe 30,
No,
maybe
he older than
30.
that. I think. Hold on. Is
He's
B
probably
ball
about
30?
30 right now.
Okay. I don't know
B-ball
why.
probably about 30 right now. B-ball probably about 30. So,
I would
um,
concur with that.
you know, but again, so that's all you need is something to exploit. So again, that's just something that at least I don't have to deal with the height deficit as I'm fighting a
He's
Benavidez. I don't
34.
have to deal with the reach deficit as a Benavidez. So I mean, different thing, you know, uh man, I got more speed than this guy. So there's other things that we got on this guy.
Yeah.
Plus experience.
Uh,
And plus, we've
yeah.
been there with big punchers too. Like I
See,
say,
see,
Experience, I would have to, without a doubt. I don't think anybody in boxing has more experience than Canelo as far as experience. I'm talking about fight experience, inside the ring experience, not IQ. I ain't basing it on IQ. I'm talking about keeping it real. Canelo has more experience than anyone when it comes to being
yeah,
in the ring.
he done fought every style.
He
He done
fought
fought
every
Floyd
style.
Mayweather. He fought Lara. He fought Kovalev. He fought Cotto. Fought Triple G. So I would probably concur with that. But I gotta get out of here, CDK. I just want to say salute
Me
to you,
too. I
Bernie.
gotta go to work.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming through. Even though we had a
appreciate
couple
you, guys.
kerfuffles, we had a couple fireworks. It was
Man,
definitely
burning. It
worth
ain't
it.
nothing burnt. It's burning,
No,
man.
no, no. Mostly it's
Yeah,
death. It's love.
yeah,
No, and
yeah,
I hope
yeah,
and last thing, I hope to see Crawford go out there and do it. I
Yeah,
would love to see Canelo get put to bed, especially by that black man. So
yeah.
salute to
Where
y'all
you
and most deaf. Much love for
salute.
the
And
future.
where you and Bernie, on that note too, we
yeah.
can get out of here. But we
Appreciate you.
definitely feel the same way. Like I said, we have to ask the question because these are questions. And me be a betting man, I put my money on fights. So I
Yeah,
want to be able to go out there and put $1,000 on Crawford and get a great return. You understand what I'm saying? To be honest with
yeah, yeah. But like I said, uh, I mean, Crawford is just a whole different type of guy. It just Crawford just a different type of guy when we talking about this boxing, man. You know, Crawford is a guy that been avoided. You know, when I think about other guys, most people not avoided, bro. Like Mayweather was not avoided. Tank is not avoided. These guys are Crawford is avoided. Regandow was avoided. So that's why that's the only thing I'm trying to say. When you got to think about something in that aspect. You could talk about all this, but like I say, Mayweather he didn't have to be he wasn't avoided. He avoided a lot of challenges and he could make Crawford has been avoided. So again, with
Are you
this
talking
with
about?
this
Are you talking
fight
about
with
Pretty
Canelo,
Boy? Or are you talking about when he
you. Yeah.
was old and angry?
Pretty boy was avoided.
They ran from Pretty Boy.
okay,
They
okay,
ran
yeah,
from Pretty
yeah,
Boy.
yeah, yeah. I would say that, but at the same time, he could have did more probably with the Casa Azul and the other fights. Small,
Oh, for sure.
I'm just saying he could have fought Shane, earlier. He could have fought Zab earlier. He could have fought all them guys earlier. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna just say it. Just can't say that because Pretty Boy could have fought all them guys, but he fought. You, you said what now?
What you say, BBO? I thought Shane
Said
turned it down
they done
early.
the same thing. No, what I'm saying is
Not.
what you're seeing now, Coach Bernie. You got the crown. They're doing the same thing to Bud now. He can never do enough. You see what I mean? It's not
Well,
Bud. It's the CDs in. What I'm saying
no,
is,
no,
it's
no,
like
no,
you hear
no,
people say,
no,
"Oh,
no,
Bud could have
no,
did
no.
this." Bud could have did that.
No,
That's what they said about
no,
Floyd.
because because but Floyd had the light at the time. So that's what I'm saying. Bud didn't have the light. Floyd had the guys he could pick. Bud
Yeah.
ain't never been in a position to where he can pick. Tank is in a position where he can pick. He ain't never been in that position to pick. Bud has never been in that position. Canelo was in that position to pick. Pacquiao was in that position to pick. Bud has never been in that position to pick where whoever he wants, he can get them. He's never been in that position.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
does
I
make
give you that
sense,
because
man.
he got blocked a lot too. Bud has definitely been blocked. But let me ask you this. This is my final question on this. Do you think it's because Bud wasn't always trying to ingratiate himself with everybody? Because he got this, he
Ingratiate
got $1
himself.
million smile. He should be the man of Madison Avenue. And I say that pause. You know, people got that for the pause, boys.
When you
He should.
say ingratiate him, I mean, like I say, it's the promoter's got to promote a guy. You know, it's not about him being everywhere and talking to every boxing outlet. He don't owe y'all nothing to do an
No,
interview
not the
with you.
boxer outlet. I'm talking about the
No,
other guys in boxing. Because when you see him with people now, we seeing that personality. I'm saying I wonder why he wasn't doing that earlier. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about us. You don't owe
I
us
think
anything.
no, I'm saying I think he always had the same old personality. I mean, I don't think it's more different. I think people are coming at him different. You know,
Okay.
so when he
Hey,
first come out, they're
Bernie
beating him
BBO,
down.
I'm sorry, my son got sick in school. I got to go pick him up, man. I apologize for this. I just got a call though. I cut the camera off. I was trying to talk on the phone. Yeah, I
Okay,
just got a call, so I got to make a run, man. Bernie, it's always a pleasure, man. You one of a kind, and you gonna
appreciate you.
stand on business. You gonna stand on business all the time when it comes to Crawford and your team. I respect it, man. I respect it for
Appreciate you,
real,
man.
no doubt.
You
Appreciate you
got the best
guys.
one-liners, man. I'm gonna be laughing about that silly motherfucker all day.
Uh, all right, next
You
time, man.
motherfucker.
Next time. Next time.
Hey
Hey, you a
man,
country nigga like me. I like that, man. Peace, my
yeah.
boy.
Hey BBO, I got to get out of here, man. We'll get man salute, man. Great show.
Oh,
Thank y'all,
salute, man.
man.
Appreciate you, man. Go get
Appreciate
my
it. We
nephew,
out.
man.
Peace. All right.
Peace.